Hello YouTube and welcome to the finale of my Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei reaction series, here with the final volume of the manga ready to go. So, I have a lot of explaining to do, so let me get out ahead of it and apologize for last week. So, Patreon side, you would have not seen a video last week. Obviously, it was the week before for public. That was my fuck up, let's put it that way. A little bit of videoception here, but this is part one of my recording session for last week that I did on the manga. And I also had another hour there, but I won't go through the whole rigmarole of getting that up and having a look. Upon finishing that kind of 2 hours and 40 minutes, whatever I ended up recording, I'm like, all of this is terrible. It's like a terrible video. And I kind of knew it half when I was recording it, and I'm like, do I just keep going? I guess I keep going. And yeah, I feel like the product just ended up being not something that I would want to put out, put it that way. The main problem was I was very tired because it was my very busy Monday, that Monday. I was rushing because I was under a false pretense of how many chapters I would have to do. I was given 29 chapters total. I was under the impression that I was doing those 29 chapters in that one video. That was not the case. The kind of second half there, when I started to realize, I slowed down a little bit more, but the damage was kind of already done there. And ultimately, I felt like I was jumping around the manga too much to really grab anything all that concrete. And again, I'll get into my summary of what I thought about what I read and whatnot. But I didn't feel like a lot of it was all that really important. It was more just kind of nods here and there to general concepts of something, which are probably going to reveal themselves in this final volume here. There was a general theme of I guess you would say substitution, of people swapping and interchanging and moving in and out, and sometimes being seen as one thing and sometimes being seen as another thing, and kind of the early chapters that I did before it becoming a little bit more concrete with the Abiru reveal when her kind of eye gets uncovered and she kind of looks through it for a bit, and everybody's Kafka, up to and including herself. So anyway, we'll see what that means. I don't really have ultimately that many thoughts at this current juncture. Anyway, get this shit off my screen. More to the point. Sorry. The video was bad and I didn't upload it. Let's put it that way. It's mostly just me reading the chapters verbatim too, which is just, nobody wants that. You guys can read. I don't know why I did it that way. Anyway, we're striving to improve here with this week, which is going to be our final week. We're going to be looking at that final volume, hopefully elucidating a lot of that setup that I generally got from the previous week. In the meantime, I have seen a couple of comedic chapters put up here. My favorite ones, I guess, the ones that I found the most giggles within. Yeah, I've been reading a little bit more. It's quite a good manga. Again, divorced from all the story stuff that I was doing last week, I came to the realization that the adaption's quite good in so far as it's very faithful to the manga. It just kind of felt like I was watching the episodes. As well as, I didn't know that the art in this thing was as good as it was. It's some of those like first kind of flash, like big pages that you get are genuinely really good. I don't know, I kind of thought that the art was a little bit more lowbrow before reading it properly, but Komeda's good. He's a good mangaka. I don't know, he's very self-deprecating, but I liked it. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the gist as it stands right now. We're going to be jumping in here at the start of the last volume and hopefully rectifying things and whatnot. I don't know. I think first and foremost, let's thank the patrons and that side of it, and then we'll move from there maybe into a few more story setup-y stuffs, we'll see. Now, currently shilling the Patreon is kind of null and void, considering it won't be any more Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei up there, but whatever I'm doing next will be up there, so maybe give it a look. It could be something you're super interested in. Also doing Takopi's Original Sin at the moment, as well as Mushi-Shi, both of which I'm enjoying greatly. So if you wanted those 1 week early, you could get a look at those. It's up to you. Thank you for the people that have given it a look, such as Mickey Babbers, AF, AJ, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, BD422, Bisa, Blue Sky, Capella, Chobo Ribby, Copley, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Hibiki Tachibana, Ika, Iwayuru, Yako Yavanen, Jummy Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Nosta, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Marco-san, Matthew Bratcher, Miru, Mistake El Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Ron Light B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Akamancer, Binshi, Kelvin, Voodoo Chili, Aiden O'Brien, Guanal, and Vibrant Weaver. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And honestly, I think the best thing to do would just be to get up some of this stuff and just have another look. So yeah, just a general part here about synesthesia. I bet if you took off your eye patch, it would be different in yet another way. And then through random happenstance, the eye patch does come off and she sees what she sees. A bunch of Kafkas. Where again, we're comparing it to the panel down here, where we see all the other characters. Then it's just Kafka. Fura-chan, of course. Also this as well, implying that the teachers may know something. At least Chie may know something. Do you think she finally noticed something? I don't know, looking in the mirror, seeing that she herself is also Kafka. That look of hers was just as gentle as a mother's, overflowing with love. Oh yes, and I remember being quite frustrated here towards the end, as this chapter is extremely meta. I would have preferred a more concrete continuation of the concept that we just kind of uncovered, but no, we chose to do something about wrapping everything up and making it all tight. And it's, yeah, some tatami thing. I don't know, I was quite frustrated at it by the end. Oh yes, and the wrap-up maestro was also a pedophile. I didn't like that. Fresh girls and fresh mats are the best, you know. They're too fresh, you criminal. Now, we must remember that the Shadow Warrior, of course, took the class register and posted it on a tree. Seems like there's some sakura blossoms falling as well. Nami sees it, sure. And then Rin says, is it finally time to enter the classroom? And that's kind of where we're jumping off. There's a few translator notes there, but this is our general setup. Again, it's weird because I've recorded a bunch of stuff where I talked about this, but I don't think it's very good. So just know that I'm with it, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain. So that, I guess, leaves us with 10 chapters. We're going to try to do at least 5 here today, and then come back tomorrow and do another 5 and some wrap-up. I feel like that's the best thing. Unless I get on a little bit of a roll, maybe I'll do some more tonight. We'll see. Anyway, the final volume, chapter 292, The Message Left by the Body Double, Kindaichi style. Like the detective. See, it's all coming together. I've uncovered something big. Is something the matter? Sensei, this is a huge discovery. Please look. Also, I should say the title, which is The Replacelings, is the name of the chapter here, chapter 292. Thank you, Nami. Let's have a look. Kato ai ato kai. What? If you change the letters' order, it becomes this. It's an anagram? Okay. It's an anagram known by about 80% of the people in this country. Is this a Nami joke because it's normal, so it's regular that most people would know this? Sure, let's say it is. Huh? It's that famous? Yes, it is, says Abiru. By the way, what's an anagram? It's when you change the order of the letters in a word and get a different meaning. It's a form of wordplay. Thank you, Sinetsky. Most certainly is. Right. For example, you can do this with the author's name, turning Kumeta Koji into Umeta Jinkoku, which is known as the time of burying. Okay. That's very appropriate. That's very Kumeta. My name can be changed to something very morbid and dark. Ooh, I'm edgy. Yeah, that's his kind of thing. So we're going to do a whole chapter on anagrams, because I get the feeling that I'm just going to get kind of Japanese checked here, but let's have a look. We have Chirikitsu here, of course. What are you doing? Coloring, says Harumi. You throw it away. What do you have going on here? It says coloring for grown-ups. That's pretty funny, and this man is clearly in distress. Maybe some yaoi adjacent stuff. BL. My coloring got into a nesting hole. Okay, this is where the anagram's coming in. Okay. Inari is getting into my ass? What the hell are you talking about? She comes to that realization. I don't need that. Did you think of something? But why did the body double leave this? Isn't it hinting that it's an anagram? I see. Maybe he's telling us to change the arrangement of something. If you shuffle around how things are arranged, you can have lots of changes, and not just for the letters. If you change the batting order, scoring power improves. If you change the order of the magazine, the author loses motivation. If you change the order of the course menu, you'll feel full halfway. Will you? I guess. I don't know. If I ate kind of an entree, then a dessert, then a full meal, I would probably feel full, correct? It changes quite a bit. This is part of some of the stuff I was talking about last week regarding the manga, and I think that it's quite pretty well framed. You'll often get a full body shot of a character here. It's kind of a thing on each page, really, that you can see quite often. Skirts are very short, I'll say that, but that's not exclusive to the manga either. I don't know, I feel like it's very striking as you're reading it. You can very clearly kind of tell what's going on and who's talking and who's having the important moment in the scene. Okay, Nami's thought of something. Louis the 13th, and also touching a Seiyu. So, Rui Ju Sensei and Seiyu-san Ijiru. Okay, what would you think about that? I guess it's funny when you yourself technically do have a Seiyu. That's something, okay. And then we basically tell her to shut up. And then it's like, nah, everybody else has already a bunch of quips loaded as well. Everybody has their variation on this joke, so we better stay on it for a bit. Everyone's got something to say. Over here we see a hand. Somebody else has something to say too. Kafka? No. Okay, never mind. Instead here we have Okusa, who has her pun of, my cousin is a lovely girl, versus do not carry little girls. Yeah, don't do that. I don't know, they're very enthusiastic and they're helping each other out here. I don't know. Good bonding. Just forget all the revelations that we've had recently. It's fine. Ah, you're right, that's great. Here, I thought of something as well. Me too. I'll give you a chance for presenting those later on. So can we at least move on for now? Right. If you replace things, a lot changes. What is this? It's an iPod Shuffle. You can shuffle lots of things with this. That's very interesting. Let's try it out. Okay, so in a chapter that's kind of been about wordplay and anagrams, we kind of go from that into rearranging it in general, and then shuffling songs on an iPod Shuffle. May shuffle some other things in real life too. Shuffle the order, potentially the order of the students. We're going to have to say, this is a NEET whose parents have died. I'm hungry. Oh no. Can he not feed himself? Will the NEET leave the house or will he starve? Which is written as so. Senetsuke goes over and shuffles this, and then he seems fine. He made up his mind and he left the house with a "Bouah! He's meeting a woman. Why don't we go on a date? Seriously? We could try." They've entered an interesting building for their date. Let's follow them. Is this a gallery? I sell pictures of dolphins during dates, so buy this. Okay, so that's the shuffle. We're really going all out with this anagram thing. And of course it's Sensei, so he chooses to take this in a little bit more of a depressing direction. Or maybe this is Senetsuke. So when you make up your mind and leave the house, the hardships of the world will still get to you. Even if we were to arrange things, you can't change his miserable fate. Why is it such a bad thing for somebody to sell you pictures of dolphins on a date? Let's see. Well, in the end, this one was an anagram as well. Why not do something that's not wordplay? And then we see some kind of salary man. Oh no, I'm too late. I can't go on living if I get fired. I want to change this person's fate. Okay. iPod Shuffle again. If I'm too late, I'll get fired, I'll die. I got fired in the end, I'll go die. Wait! It's a cool look. He looks like that one Danganronpa motherfucker. A little bit. I've got the feeling something will change. Just have more faith in yourself. You are great. I'm sure you can change. Me? Great? If you use this, you can sparkle more. For just 20,000 yen. Men's cosmetics? That's right. I'm beautiful. Then he paints his nipples? I darken my nipples and I become a narcissist. Okay. What are you talking about? Okay, these puns are insane. I don't know, here at the final volume, having a character jump in and stop somebody from killing themselves off of a kind of sakura blossom tree. That's something. I don't know, it's a connection. Itoshki's looking at this. There's something in that. Anyway, we're painting nipples over here. Can't be too serious. Somebody who darkens his nipples must really be a narcissist. If you didn't have faith in yourself, you wouldn't be able to do it. Wasn't that also an anagram just now? But his fate changed. Can we do our presentations now? Well, just gather everything you've thought of, and I'll present them. Very meta. Okay, that's very cool. I like that. We must also remember the premise here. We had the kind of warrior guy. He took the class register and that he put it on the thing. So he must have learned something there and then put an anagram on the fucking tree. So there's probably some relevance there. There's probably some anagram that I could see if I was switched on. Apparently we did list a lot of anagrams about neats as well. Very cool. At this rate, we'll never understand what the body double wanted to tell us. So, what should we leave out to solve the mystery? Maybe how the tables are arranged? You want to change seats now? Well then, I'll change my register to Itoshki. Seat and register, as in family register, both pronounced seki in Japan. Okay, what? We'll say. I don't want that. Register change? What? It's nothing. But why is only the Ato Kai censored? Maybe because his agency will find things difficult. Okay, is it like a celebrity's name or something? Sure. Don't say. Kato Ai was just used to hook us on it. This is not an anagram. What? Ato 10 kai. It's not Ato kai, it's 10 chapters left, including this one. No way! It's rather surprising that we even have that much left. That means we'll graduate in June. Okay, a few funny little bits here at the end. We have a counterfeit bill at the very end. Okay. Alright, anyway, that was weird. I was expecting something more revelatory here. This was just a pun saying that we had 10 chapters left that I didn't understand because I'm not Japanese. Very cool. I don't know, again, there probably is something with, the general theme of shuffling, rearranging, substitution again is a theme that I keep bringing up. Yeah, anyway. Chapter 293, Fantasy Sensei. Well, we have an obviously counterfeited bill, jumping off the end of last chapter. This is also an obvious counterfeit, isn't it? As Sensei looks at the Kafka bill, and then is a little bit enamored. Well, it looks like play money from a child's bank, so I guess it's not a problem. No, the problem is, that bill is actually usable. Oh my god. Kafka currency? This shit's crazy. Oh my god, is this, Kiyohiko or whatever? Kinda looks like him. Sure. Anyway, people are actually using this bill and taking it, sure. And Sensei is shocked. Well, I guess you could ask what's the big difference between those two scraps of paper? Well, I mean, the government is what gives kind of currency power, right? I thought so. I don't know, it's a stand-in for something. I don't know. Money's money. Here we go, Sinetsuki. It's trust is what makes it, isn't it? For instance, why are these slips of paper worth 10,000 yen? It's because everyone believes that they are 10,000 yen. Then it's worth 10,000 yen. Therefore, if everybody believes that this bill is 10,000 yen, then it's worth 10,000 yen. If they trust the process, trust the Kafka bill. Of course, some kind of backing is required. Our world is actually built on a fragile shared fantasy. What the fuck? What do you mean by that? Is he talking about the money, or is he talking about something bigger than that? Our world is built on a fragile shared fantasy? Abiru? Not Abiru. Harumi seems to be making note of it. No, she's doing something stupid. This picture that I drew and a Picasso, just what difference is there between them? Well, I think there are quite a few. Both of them are just things drawn on a piece of paper. Fujiyoshi-san makes a good point. That's right. A lot more people are convinced that a Picasso is valuable, but this is little more than a shared fantasy, because everybody thinks that an ordinary piece of ground has value, put a price on it, which is little more than a shared fantasy, whether it's stocks, religion, value of gems, the safety of nuclear power, or the ideal of female beauty. You can take them all for granted. What if we were to doubt these shared fantasies? Oh my god, we're questioning the very fabric of our existence. So, a few things. Stocks are allegedly tied to a real valuable thing. This company is doing better than another company, therefore their stock price increases. That's something tangible, technically. Yeah, no, it's all bullshit too. Religion, don't think I should touch that one. The value of gems. Yeah, again, I mean, it's only valuable if people like gems, you know? Safety of nuclear power, Japan joke, whatever, fine. The idea of female beauty is also clearly the punchline too. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. I don't know. Continuing on that line, so what is the value of this piece of paper, which is a handshake event ticket to a Takahashi Minami something? Sure. It seems I've made a mistake in trying to pull out a bill. On purpose, I'm guessing. And then all the fucking weebs like it. Yeah, okay, all the nerds love it, sure. Speaking of handshake tickets and such shared fantasies, I once issued an Itoshiki Nozomu kiss ticket. I suppose there's no difference. That would definitely be valuable to me. Sonetsuki's been she's probably been the star of these 2 chapters thus far. She's been very good. Well, no, even if it's just with you, that shared fantasy isn't happening. I think it's normal for that to have value since you're a hot guy, Sensei. I'm a hot guy? There you go, making fun of me again. A hot guy is someone like this. I can't say I expected to see that, sure. All of the citizens of that country were made to say. I mean, they all said he was hot. Hot guy he is. Oh no. Okay, you guys gonna get in trouble. That's a shared fantasy, apparently. That whole country is like a shared fantasy, isn't it? We're essentially equating the people of this country with, like, idol fans, like super nerd otaku type guys. That's kind of funny. That equation there. Well, different countries and times have different shared fantasies of beauty, don't they? Fashion is also something of a shared fantasy, isn't it? Cute? Oh, Hikarin, you're cute too. Fashion. 80s fashion was truly a shared fantasy. Yeah, there was some interesting styles back then, for sure. Big hair, shoulder pads, lots of jewelry. I don't know, it's got a mystique to it. I don't know. I'm not a very fashionable guy. I'm probably not one to say. Everyone thought they were cool. Now we're over with Komori. What is this? It's fantasy sharing software. Everyone loves various fantasies. For example, the shared fantasies of neats. Neat. If I work, I lose. Okay, the shared fantasy or the shared delusion of being a bit of a loser? Why are you on... okay, no, I know why you're on that forum. That makes sense. But that shared fantasy has now become quite widespread in Japan, hasn't it? Yes, it's becoming quite common. Here's a shared fantasy of stalkers. Eh? Stalker. This is love. Oh my god. Isn't this love? No, it's stalking. Is this more of the, yeah, this is more of the, like, Sonetsuki Komori beef stuff. That's pretty funny. Oh, and now, like, shipping culture and doujin stuff with Harumi. These are your shared fantasies of, yeah, your people, your kind. Aren't those canon? No, they're never canon. You guys are just making it up. It's fine. My, there are a lot of questionable shared fantasy files here. I'm not reading that first one, but sure, it's... That's very funny. It's possible to lease a new house. Oh my god, that aged like fine wine. Holy shit. There is peace because of Article 9, central popularity, accident faker numbers, lewd married women, simultaneous world revolution, you must not make contact with yourself if you go back in time, pensions, there are real and fake physics, 300,000 people, friendship, effort, victory. Okay, we're going off the deep end here, but there's some funny stuff in there, especially if you're seeing them on some scary forum somewhere. Either way, apparently there's a file here. Some of them are corrupted. They may be shared fantasies, but they're still fantasies. Sooner or later, they'll eventually crumble. In this world of ours, everyone takes for granted that after morning comes, evening follows. But one day, it might suddenly come to nothing. Indeed, you could take for granted that during the week pages are being added to the manuscript, and on the morning of the deadline, you might find that they're all completely blank. I don't know, we know that we're ending, and we're kind of talking about that. Like, these are almost our final days as characters, which is interesting. Things like banknotes and making a living as a painter and so forth are the value concepts of a shared fantasy in any case. You can't even be sure you know whether something exists. Believing in something's existence is also a very common fantasy. Therefore, I have one question for all of you. Have you seen the little old man? What the hell are you talking about? Okay, apparently we all saw the little old man, that many of you. Who is this little old man? What are you talking about? Why is he on a dog? I feel like this is just a non sequitur. I don't know what a little old man is here. Sure. A shared fantasy indeed. Yeah, I guess like an old wives' tale, because then we kind of talk about it here. Like, yeah, a story that's just kind of like a group hallucination or something, right? Something that kind of gets spread around and then kind of confirmation biases itself into existence. Like religious people often say they see the gods. Okay, then Okusa is doing a bit about the Takadas, who is this family that people thought were there. But when we looked at the room, it was actually vacant the whole time. But all of this is just a setup for a Maria immigrant joke. There aren't any illegal aliens or anything in this room. It's just a shared fantasy. Okay, and then Majuru's here. He gets home. Guess what? I saw a little Renho. I saw it too. I saw it too. I saw it too. Okay. What the hell's going on? It feels like it's all falling apart because then we have this. What's the matter? Asks Chiri to Abiru. It just occurred to me that we haven't seen the boys recently, have we? I wonder if that means it's been decided that it's just going to be Onisama until the end. What do you mean? Okay. What? Is it all just like a dream, a shared delusion? Whose shared delusion? What are we talking about? Okay, and then these guys are trying to scam us or something? With a desk or... funeral condolence reception desk. Oh, it's like a cutout. You can make your own one. Okay, that's kind of funny. Okay, I don't know. I like that. I don't know. Once again, I just kind of thought that we would, focus up a little bit more. It's been pretty ramshackle still. Just kind of classic old Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei. There's a few more little hints here and there, but most of them just come at the end of the chapters. Either way, chapter 294, Between Admission and Graduation. I should also mention that they are graduating. That is also another thing that's been happening in the manga. Such as even now, where we have Showa Year 86, which was something people noted early on as well. We have the graduation ceremony. Abiru, Chiri, Nami. This time, it's our graduation. Deeply touched. Cherry blossoms again. Sensei's here too, looking very suave, before we see almost like a timekeeper or somebody come in and like signal to us that we must return to the classroom on our graduation day. But we look up, and apparently instead of 3F, it's 3.1F. What do you mean? In order to foster a global workforce starting next school year, this school will enroll students in September. Along with that, graduation will be in June. Okay, I believe this is something that's happening because the manga is going to end in June, and that doesn't match, and Komeda's being kind of meta about that. So, again, it's not really matching in the here and now, because it's August, but it's more just like, I don't know, it worked at the time, I guess. Chiri is confused, but apparently it's been a trend going on. The new serialization starting next week will flop quickly, so there's no need to drag it out. That said, because it would be strange to keep calling you third years, now you're 3.1 years. Okay, that's not confusing at all. Anyway, the class roster also got taken by the body double, so it's good time to make a new one. In any case, from here on, I feel like we'll make a fresh start. Let's do our best with this new series that will be cancelled after 10 weeks. It's 8 weeks now. Let's do our best with this new series that will be cancelled after 8 weeks. I don't know if you're saying something positive or negative. It's fine if we're third years until June, isn't it? No, that won't do. Being called roughly third year sounds like lax education, doesn't it? That's why I properly decided to call you 3.1 years, didn't I? To start with, we are taking the number after the decimal point too lightly. If you're doing 3.1 minute cooking, you might be able to put an almond slice on the rice pilaf. What the fuck? Okay, it's just like, okay, I get the joke. It's like do a little extra. Sure. But Tsunetsuki asks the important question here, how are we supposed to fill the time? What would I do if I couldn't at least fill time? I'd be unpopular with girls. Having no way to fill time is unpopular. Either way, we're still back in class. I want you to become fill time citizens. Okay, that's a pretty good pun. I like that. Well, are you someone who can fill time, Sensei? Of course. I've been doing it for 300 chapters now. Dowsing with flexi straws, outlining my lifeline with a magic marker, talking to myself while pretending to be on hands-free. That sounds like you're an insane person. I don't know, there might be some pun stuff going on here because something married woman's secret lover, something fill time citizen. I feel like that's doing better in the Japanese than it's doing here. Like, obviously they're different things to me, but it's not working for... Anyway, you know what I mean. Just as I thought, all I can do is let you fill time by holding a school event. Well, such as what? If graduation in June becomes the norm from now, what school events would there be in April and May? If starting the school year in Japan in September becomes the norm now, the entire manga industry will have to figure something out. We don't really make use of the empty panels in the first place. What the hell is happening? I don't know how to handle this. It certainly takes some getting used to, doesn't it? This is hard. I have absolutely no idea. How should we do this? Then Rin comes through. Let us use a genius in killing time as our model here. Okay, I feel like we're making meta commentary about blank panels. Sure. We're like, this doesn't really fit our vibe. And then, okay, this is the killing time genius model. I don't know, it's very pretty. It's kind of... Yeah, I get what they're saying, I guess. This would be just kind of nothing and is a bad use of your final chapters, and that's kind of meta, I guess. That's the crux of the joke overall. Either way, that makes us anxious, apparently. We're all sweating. My heart was pounding. I thought I would throw up from the stress. I guess we have no choice but to have some kind of school event after all. America has graduation in June too, right? I wonder how they fill time till then. Wouldn't a returnee student know? Eh? Coyote has been, like, around for a while. Yeah, Coyote's from some other different country than America anyway. Americans, I guess that isn't too far from the truth. We're doing a couple other blank things there again. We're doing a barbecue? Sure. On holidays, Americans barbecue like crazy. I guess, going into summer, sure. Americans do love their grill. They're always barbecuing something. Essentially, if Americans have free time, if they're trying to fill time, they will just default to doing a barbecue. It's time for a barbecue if there's a spare 5 minutes. I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't eat this sausage up here either. It looks a little bit tainted. And Nami's always had a thing with food, so... You know, it's delicious, it's a good idea, so we might as well. Let's get cooking. But then we run out of meat in our town to grill. Okay, so we've filled too much time with grilling. And then we get the great idea, if we just have to fill time, then we should do reruns. Because TV does reruns all the time when they have to fill just space on TV. They say that's better to get ratings than a lousy new program. Basically for manga, this is known as republication. A lot of things have happened. This kind of story, that kind of story. Some of them popular, some of them unpopular. I remember that one. I remember that one right there. That one was very recent. Yeah, I'm guessing some of these specific panels hit a little bit harder if you're a manga fan. I do remember that one too, though. That was a good bit. I liked that bit. This happened too, which is Sensei killing himself, the start of the manga, the kind of impetus there. That's not a rerun. That's your life flashing before your eyes. There is a mysterious figure down here, though. Oh my god. Kafka. Now this is confusing me. That really happened. Is it going to be alright if we go on ahead? Says everybody else, all the boy characters. They're off graduating. Probably. Tokita's here too. Okay. Don't really know. Funeral hearse? Fold cuttable? These are getting dark. What the fuck? Okay, sure. I wonder if somebody has all these cut out somewhere. That could be That could be a fun little bit of trivia or something. That'd be cool. Now, there was one chapter here that I've skipped. I believe it's the one quote-unquote fluff chapter of this volume. I may do it in my own time and come back here and talk about it briefly in the edit, but I'm not going to do it in the here and now. Going to keep on chugging and do chapter 296. Chapter 296, A New Declaration People. Or New Declaration People, sure. We have the whole gang here following Sensei, very, very cool. Now, I must remember to go back here before doing this, because I did a couple of chapters framed like that before. We will not speak of last week's video, it was bad. Either way, we're still in class 3.1. It's April, it's the season of beginnings, sure. I'll try my very best, just as if I'd been born anew. Thank you, Nami. She's looking very cute. Yeah, I like this. Her face is a little bit weird there, but I like it. Then Sensei's pessimistic. Well, we're nearing the end, though. Just when I was finally declaring my decision. It's fine. You don't need to say it. Since you've indeed been reborn, Nami-chan. Really? That's a nice thing you're saying there. It's like this. In the course of a year, more or less all of a person's cells are replaced. So compared to last April, the you right now is a separate reborn Nami-chan. I guess that's a way to look at it. Sure. Okay, there are several theories. Yeah, sure. I get it in concept. That's weird. Ship of Theseus type stuff almost. Huh? Really? I don't really get it, but humans are amazing. Well, if you put it the other way around, every year, one Hito-san dies. Every year another me dies? Poor me. But it's the same for everyone. Did you hold a proper memorial service? Memorial service? For last year's Nami-chan, of course. Don't tell me you didn't. You need to hold a proper memorial services for your ancestors. I mean, the previous you. Okay, this is a great concept too. Sure. If one of me regenerates every year, then one of me dies. I must hold a memorial service for myself. What else is a birthday if not that? Okay, so here we are at Nami's funeral. Okay, that's just a great frame again. That's very funny. Stop it! That makes it look like I've died. But you have died. The you from last year has died. Every year you need to hold a memorial service for the previous year's you. Every year? Don't tell me you didn't hold a memorial service for the you from the year before last. Something I didn't do this year, I wouldn't have done last year, obviously. Do people actually do this thing every year? Or Chiori seems like the kind of person to do that kind of thing, but I don't think we should take that as kind of law. Sensei? Do you? Huh? Of course I do. Do you really? Just how many years haven't you held one? How many? I've never held this kind of service even once. That's not good. Oh, and then we have Nami here, a bunch of different photos there within. She's kind of, she's kind of got some style in some of these. Yeah, sure. Where we're going to do them kind of retroactively, all of the previous Namis. So many versions of me have died? That's right. The you right now is made up of so many precious corpses. Very, morbid at the moment. That's why you see, you really need to treasure your current self. Don't make this sound like a good story. I don't know, I think it's kind of almost poetic. Like the old me dies every year and gets reborn. Change is kind of like that. Weird. Okay, that's kind of thought-provoking in a weird way. Okay, and then we're getting our Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei on because now we're getting referential. I'll show you proof that people get replaced every year. This one here was drawn in 92. This one here was drawn in 93. It's like a different genre. Why does the sports series turn into a dirty gag series? This here turns into this as well, which is probably a political thing. There's no way a left-wing gorilla would become prime minister. He switched sides. Okay. There's lots of different ones here. Okay. Oh, the example there of Chrono Trigger into Chrono Cross is kind of funny. How did that go to that? Great question. Oh, here we go. We called it out by name. Yeah, down the bottom there. But if my cells have really been completely replaced, can you really say that me right now is still me? That's the ship of Theseus. What's that? You don't need to explain the ship of Theseus for me. When you switch out parts of a ship and have finally replaced all of them, is it truly still the same ship? Then who's the me right now? A Nami-chan in name only. Isn't that kind of mean? Abiru being the one to say that's interesting, considering the whole eye angle, discovery, Kafka thing. Is Nami even Nami? Or is Nami somebody else? I don't know. Okay, this one here seems a little bit Japanese too. That seems like a line that is pretty common that people will say. See, that's something women say a lot, but in a certain way it's right. Yes, people become a new person every year. That's why you should renew your license, your passport, your marriage, and your workplace every year. Acquaintances you meet again after a year aren't really acquaintances at all. Now, Sensei has a class reunion of elementary school or something. I always hesitated to go there because I thought I might cause trouble. Oh no, it's not. It's I? Yeah, okay, I missed this panel here. Okay. Well, I mean, attending an elementary school reunion's already weird, but with the concept of the chapter and you being dead 10 times over in that time, then yeah, weird. Okay. Okay, and here comes Chie with some actual good knowledge. Because she's embarrassed because people knew her. How did they know me even though I've been replaced completely and hadn't seen them in years? Because even if your cells are replaced, the blueprint is still the same. However, if the replacement is via a different method, you may become a different person, such as memory transfer. Now here we go. I forgot to talk about the transplant angle. Organs that remember. After a transplant of organs, it sometimes happens that the donor's memory, preferences, or personality move on to the recipient. Something you hated becomes your favorite. Your dark personality turns bright. Well, I'm sure there was nobody who's changed due to an organ transplant at your class reunion, though. But there was somebody who seemed like a different person. This boy who used to tease me so much in elementary school suddenly says he likes me. Yeah, well, that one hasn't changed at all. Everybody knows that one. It's a classic. Either way, moving on from that, in any case, now that you've become a new person, or finally become a new person, Nami-chan, you need to do your best. Yes, I will. Thank you, Nami-chan. Wait, what, there's two? Wait, there's Nami-chan from a year ago, and then Nami-chan... Oh my god, we're gonna have to kill the other Nami. It's a fight to the death. However, what do we spy down here? Okay. I won't let you replace me that easy. They're fighting down here, fighting. That there doesn't look like Nami. Like that there. Right there. That looks like some other character that she's fighting with. Interesting. Okay. Just keeping it out there. Why not? Yeah. Next chapter now, and Meru saw it for sure. Chapter 297. 5 more melancholies. Nami is shocked. The self-proclaimed me from a year ago ran away. Wait. And then we have Meru, who spots a little Kafka here, just out for an instant. That looked like Kafka for a minute. It's awful, Nisama. Our brother Anishi has started an awful business. Okay, who the hell is Anishi? Do I know who that is? Okay, I don't know if I know who that is. Either way, the concept of somebody running a marriage counseling bureau as a divorce lawyer is pretty funny. It's very opposite day, which is kind of the manga's whole thing, the story's whole thing. Apparently we're out in the sticks doing marriage counseling. Is anybody there? It almost sounds like someone's chanting the Takasago somewhere inside. It says there's a wedding ceremony taking place here between Kato and Ato. Please pardon the intrusion. And then it's a funeral? It's a posthumous marriage? What the fuck? Okay, and this must be Anishi, sure. In other words, a wedding that's held after they died. Now, listen, I remember there was 4 siblings. Is this the 4th guy? Okay, this must be the 4th guy. No, 5. There must be 5. Because there's the doctor, there's Dio, there's Sensei, there's Rin, and then now there's this guy. There must have been 5, sure. Is this the eldest, potentially? Okay, sure. Why? This is very 11th hour to reveal him. I don't remember seeing this guy. Maybe it was a manga thing? I don't know. A posthumous marriage is insane. This is a place of celebration. Do not disturb it. Seems like a pretty intense guy. Of course, looks very similar to Sensei. They all look very similar to each other. So everyone's here, simultaneously mourning their deaths and congratulating their marriage. Posthumous marriage. A ritual performed out of pity for a man and a woman who died young without getting married, joining them together after death. Besides in Japan, it's still performed all around the world. It's a type of memorial service. This isn't a thing, right? It absolutely is a thing. I just googled it. That's crazy. What? I've never heard of this. Okay, and now we get very wordy too. A posthumous marriage is a divorce. So divorce attorney is doing this, sure. And there are even cases where they want them to be married to a two-dimensional character. Poor Madoka fan. Jesus Christ. It's all Madoka. Look, they're fucking everywhere. Jesus. I do like the bolts of this manga this close to the ending. We're essentially 50 pages away from closing this thing out, and we're talking about having a posthumous marriage with a anime character. This is an interesting thought process here from Ren as well. No matter how much he was into his hobby, for a grown man to have figures put into the coffin with him, or to have a piece from his favorite piece of media played during his funeral, wouldn't that make him, actually unable to rest in peace? Now, I think it's a case-by-case basis, really. I don't know. Yeah, you can never really ask the person, I guess. I guess they're just trying to tribute you as best they can. Great point. You see, a memorial service is held for the benefit of the bereaved, so it's fine. It's less for the person, it's more for the... Yeah, okay. Sure. Let's set aside this marriage counseling matter for the time being. Why didn't you ever come back to pick up Majiru? Oh, so he's Majiru's father? I don't know, I always assumed he was with the doctor. Anyway, I wanted to pick him up, so why didn't you? What? Oh! You were my shadow double after all? He was here the entire time just in the armor? What the fuck? What? But why is this a thing? A bunch of little kind of, charms in the armor. My feelings were too strong, so I couldn't go near him. So you could only get close to him with that mask and armor. Sure. That's fucking weird. Alright, so you always wanted to say, hey to him, but you needed to use the armor to do so because your feelings were too strong? Okay. Can't remember any specific scenes with kind of the body double and Majiru. I guess they were there. Majiru's always just been around. Either way, that also reveals why he grabbed the attendance register. Okay, why did you take that with you, Nissan? To do this! Wait, where? Okay. One time he smacks Sensei, and then Sensei's confused, but that was just a joke. I actually needed it to make this. Take these with you, Nozomu. Okay, what are these? Are these graduation holdy thingies for diplomas? Sure. Okay, so you needed the class register to make each of these to make sure that we could graduate on time? Sure. Okay. And that's the end of that chapter. Okay, I mean, I'll leave it there for now, but obviously this video is going to continue very shortly, but it will be tomorrow. Once again, just a really weird manga to react to. I don't know. I'm doing better than last week, but only marginally, I think. Content's good, though. It's just odd. The whole thing's odd, if I'm honest. Anyway, you'll see me again shortly. And we're back. It's the next day. Just catching myself up. There was the reveals around, I guess you would say, the hidden brother, Enishi. He is the body double person shadow warrior guy. Sure. he was here the entire time. Whatever. More importantly, stole the class kind of role and has made these graduation kind of, diploma things with it. And that's kind of our lead-in from here. You know what this tells me? That there must be some reveal around the names on the roll. And, yeah, anyway. I'm going to let the manga do it. I'm not going to just say it, but I'm going to let the manga do it. I'd imagine we're getting into a little bit more of the serious stuff now. Maybe, however serious this show gets, or story, Chapter 298, Welcome Zetsubou Sensei. What are you doing? They said we're changing seats. On graduation day? It doesn't make any sense to do it now, does it? I think so too. Sensei's instructions are written on the board. He even used an incorrect kanji, so it says registration change as opposed to seating change. Okay, we're gonna do the reveal thing. And again, we've talked about cells being replaced and, the blueprint and that kind of thing, and kind of interchanging, and one me dies every year, and this general theme of substitution running through all the chapters that I've read in my kind of manga stint. This is now all coming to the fore. Again, we're all swapping seats because we're all interchangeable with one another. Hello, is this Kirikomori? Right here? In a uniform? That's new. Okay. Special occasion, I guess. It's not a mistake if you look at it as the changing of the names in the school register. So maybe it was a waste to move the desks. Well, it's fine since we lined them up so nicely. Everyone, it's time to go. So grateful. Very, very cool. Oh, it's the start of the song. Okay. So grateful are we to our teachers. Thank you for singing, girls. I wish I could have seen this animated. I feel like they would have done something pretty fun here. And now we shall award the diplomas. We're getting them directly from Sensei? Please, come on stage when I call your name. Here we go. I'm not going to butcher this name, but I feel like he's just going to do weird names, maybe? Miss Centarain Yuzurimasen, which is I won't concede the center line, which is Chiri's character to a T, which is why she calls her name. Majiru's confused because that isn't her name, but Chie says it's okay. Congratulations. Looks like we're going to do a bunch of puns for everybody. I'm not going to be the kind of person to sit here and read them all out, but everybody gets their little moment to shine. There's some decent puns there. Again, working better in the Japanese, obviously. Lastly, here we have Komori? I think it's Komori. I don't know who that is, would be otherwise. Anyway, all the penguins are pretty jazzed about it. Okay, and then we zoom out, and then the penguins are yin and yang. Weird. Okay. Penguin drum, anybody? Every time. Yeah. Okay, sure. We'll read into that maybe a little bit later. Congratulations, says Sensei, with something resembling a genuine reaction, which is quite cute. They all call out to Sensei to turn around and show off their diplomas to him. It's all looking very nice. What are you going to do now? I've decided to take a new position, so I'm headed there. I'll get in touch with you once I've settled in. You say that, but I bet you won't. I will. You absolutely must stay in touch with us. Sensei, you have my sincere gratitude, says Meru's father. Thank you, Meru. Thank you. This is all just very wholesome. I'm still waiting for the kind of other shoe to drop here, I guess. Is this, Mitama Maya even crying there? What the fuck? Everybody's getting teary-eyed. Either way, Chie walks into the classroom, makes note of registration change, which was the kanji he used. And there we have it. I feel like I'm going to need to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Let's do that. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. Hang on. Maybe this will work temporarily. Okay. Here we go. So I guess they've been entered in the registry or the register of the dead. So each and every student here had something kind of binding them, and they've made a little kind of, what would you say, little shrine to their death, per se. For now, I'm still question marking a few things, like, what do you mean? Huh? What? Like, around that way, I guess. Those are my general thoughts. But it seems like we're conflating graduation with death for at least these students, or potentially they've been dead the entire time. We're gonna see. Either way, Sensei's on his journey with his little icy pole there. Oh, I see as well. Okay, so the boat pulls up. Sensei comes off the boat. Sensei, welcome Itoshiki Sensei. Hang on, because these are the same kids from the very first thing that I saw last week, which got included. And this was what I was looking for. 3.1 students. That was on the classroom. 3.1 was the name of the classroom. A teacher in despair about life, children on an island who cannot live without hope. This is the ultimate human drama that interweaves the lives of one teacher and 3.1 students. So yeah, that's a little bit intriguing. So is this like a skip ahead? Are we playing fast and loose with timeline or something? Yeah, here we go, continuing on now. So there are 3 of you, huh? Nope, Hiroshi's still around, so there's 3.1 of us. So that's how it is. So we need to get him to graduate. Goodbye, Zetsubou Sensei. Okay, we must get Hiroshi to graduate. 3.1, classroom 3.1, registry of the dead, graduate. there's ideas churning around in there, I swear to God. Either way, chapter 299, we have Majiru making his way in, happy girls, and a class of despair. What the heck is this? Before he looks down and sees the attendance register, where he looks at it and it's like, oh, they really got different names. Those are what you would call posthumous names, names given to people who have died. Ooh. Before Majiru follows Sensei, who's still with the kids, and so we need to get him to graduate. Hiroshi's still around 3.1 of us, all that same stuff, just Majiru is now witness to it. But there is no Hiroshi. What's that even mean? 3.1 people. Majiru, what do you mean you need to make him graduate? Graduate from the land of the living. I will help Hiroshi-kun's spirit, which is wandering around in regret, graduate from this world and attain peace. Majiru is shocked. So that means that the girls really were ghosts? In that case, it all makes some sense. Sensei's like an exorcist or something? Okay. So he's kind of been here just talking with the dead girls for a bit? Okay, I'm struggling a little bit, right? Because why are they all dead? What does that even mean? What does any of that mean? How does that enhance meaning, I guess? I'm waiting for, I guess, the manga to do some other stuff there where it's like, this is the why as to why we did this, I guess. Here we have it, a lurking ghost, a ghost bound to a place, a mummy, a long-necked woman, an oil-stealing ghost. I've been living with ghosts? I apologize for interrupting you while you're freaking out, but you're Hiroshi. Eh? No, really, you're Hiroshi. So that means I'm dead too? What the fuck is happening? Excuse me? It means that you will become Hiroshi-kun's spirit proxy. Thank you, Abiru. Why are you... It's here. And who are you calling mummy here? Just where would such a monster actually exist? Okay, all the girls are still here, that's good. Just like a posthumous marriage, there is a kind of memorial service you hold for people who passed away before they could graduate, a posthumous graduation. We were the spirit proxies for those girls, something like a medium or shaman to get them to rest in peace. We were attending school on their behalf. Why did you have to do something like that? Maybe because it was inevitable. What does that mean? Okay. So, wait, so they actually existed? They were just spirit proxies. So they were kind of like, inhabiting their person. Does that make any sense? Like they were being possessed almost. So they were literally there. They were actually tangibly there. The same way that Majiru is tangibly there. They're all just representing some of the person as well. Okay, and then everybody's all here and they're all in their little dresses and stuff. I wanted to die? What is happening? Oh, on that day in spring. Okay. Yeah, shoes by the thing. You're in a hospital bed. Surely, Abiru. Yep. Great. Awesome. Oh, here we go. Okay. I wanted to die. That's one side of it. And then on that day in spring, on that very day where the cherry blossoms are falling and all that kind of stuff, right? When the show started, there was another kind of thought to the other perspective of I wanted to live, and then I'd rather die than go to school. This is Kirikomori, which, again, it's getting kind of depressing now, guys. I'm going to be honest. Well, yeah, okay. This is making a little bit more sense now. There's that. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing it a little bit more. Why did you save me? Just stay out of it. Why didn't anyone save me? Yes, we all once tried to die, and we're saved. We are attempted suicides. There you go. This is what the pills were about over here. Gotcha. I don't know how you're attempting suicide here. Maybe you're refusing treatment in a hospital bed or something, or maybe it has something to do with the bandages. That would make sense too. Oh, yin and yang too, of course. Yeah. Now, yeah, I was remembering there was a piece of symbolism there that would go along with it. Thank you, Sho. We are both kind of a soul that wanted to die and a soul that wanted to live all in one. Two souls that should never have met somehow found each other and then were guided to the promised place, and in that classroom there was despair. It was our last hope. Or for us, it was our last hope. Okay, this is the premise of the thing. Okay, and this is, yeah, it's all making sense now. So it's kind of these girls on the brink of suicide having a final chance whereby they kind of go to this classroom and are guided here, weirdly enough, to the Despair Sensei, who in his own way is their hope. Which is some fun opposite day stuff, right? Which the manga's had going on for the entire time. Or the story. I haven't read the manga, you know. We lived a school life in place of those girls, for the sake of those ghosts of the Showa era who perhaps had not yet found peace. We made Showa 80 out of Heisei 17 because for them, the Showa era still went on. So yeah, this was more to my discussion earlier. This is it in a little bit more concrete detail. We're like inhabiting the spirit of these people from long ago. So kind of channeling them much like a medium would, right? So when Sensei's saying goodbye to everybody, right, and telling them to graduate, and then has a bunch of different names for them, those names are kind of like the spirit names and whatever. And that's why there was all those kind of whatever's on the classroom desks and whatnot. This is making a lot of sense now. Students that weren't really students, classmates that weren't really classmates, a teacher that wasn't really a teacher, people of different origins, of different ages, with no connection to each other, were gathered in that classroom by some power. At first, the school life we began as spirit proxies was a fake, but before we knew it, it had become our own. And we of 2F were a real class and real classmates. And for us, you were our real teacher. So, for one last time, please let us call you Zetsubou Sensei. Goodbye, Zetsubou girls. That's the end of that chapter there. Okay, I mean, I'm getting the... panty shot, funny. I'm getting the feeling you go back through with this knowledge now and then rewatch the show or reread the manga and a bunch of things fall into place a little bit more. Again, people have said that this was the kind of thing that kind of had long-running theories attached to it and whatnot, and you know, this is now gives credence to that, right? This was probably something that the fan base was predicting and whatnot, and yeah, I can see the why now. For me, kind of 2 episodes a week over the course of however long, as well as, you know, let's be honest, some pretty, you know, quick reading here at the very end of the manga, has kind of left this reveal a little bit like, oh, yeah, sure, fine, yep, okay. I mean, it makes sense. I knew there was some weird stuff going on. There's still the Kafka of it all, which we haven't done that yet. I mean, we've got a couple chapters here to go. I'm imagining we're going to address it. But yeah, I mean, this is a reveal. It's not clicking everything into place yet, I guess, but I don't know if it's meant to. Again, maybe a reread type job. The girls are cute, though. I don't know. I can give you that. Here we go. Chapter 300. The Kafka-chan we knew was like an angel. Oh, this is pretty apt. I like this here. If you're an influential family's stand-ins for 100 years, you'll become an actual influential family. So if your students stand in for 7 years, you'll become an actual student. Is that it? But is Majoru really a good choice as a spirit proxy? One can't communicate with the spirits without going to the verge of death to match their wavelength, right? His neck isn't as well trained as Nozomu's, so we can't hang him either. Oh, you're talking with... Okay, I thought you were talking with Sensei. Now, Sensei's down here with the girls. Okay, fair enough. Well, actually, there's no proof that having the girls become spirit proxies allowed the ghosts to find peace. However, funeral services aren't held for the deceased alone. They are also for those left behind. In that sense, thank you. I think we have held a proper service. That's heartbreaking. Oh no. Not Maru's dad. Why is he sad now? That's terrible. Why is that? That's making me sad. I don't like that. Still, doesn't that just overcomplicate things in a lot of ways? It is complicated, is it not? Couldn't someone sum it up for me, I wonder? Enter a different character to potentially sum things up for you. Here we have Dr. Death himself, getting caught by a detective. May I ask you something? Just who was Fura Kafka? I have a similar question, for sure. The chapter title says that she was an angel. An actual person named Fura Kafka doesn't exist. Then why did everyone in class see this non-existent girl? A mirage, a kind of shared fantasy, isn't it? It's something that can happen in a closed community. It's like mass hypnosis, an illusion the brain will show someone when they deeply believe in folklore or religion, like angels, fairies, or Kappa. Yes, like angels. Can't we just say she's an angel? Stop kidding around. Okay, I mean, I'm believing that she's an angel, sure. Tell me how an entire class who happened to have no traditions or religion in common saw the same person, the same illusion. Anyone would remember their own face, wouldn't they? Where do you think human memory is stored? The brain. It's in the hippocampus in the brain, isn't it? It isn't just the brain. Some say that every organ, even our blood, has memory. That's as much as I can say as a doctor, so why don't you try asking the coordinator being questioned in the next room? Memory transfer. With some organ transplants, parts of the donor's memory can pass on to the recipient. Food you hated and never wanted to eat suddenly becomes your favorite after a transplant. You replace all of the blood in the body, the personality also changes. I've witnessed many cases of that. The students of Class 2F all have one thing in common. All of the girls have undergone some type of transplant. They are all recipients, and they all receive donations from the same person. Ooh, okay. Sure, I'm kind of just going with it. So thank you, Kafka. You were literally our, savior, because we all got kind of transplanted stuff from you. That explains the eye thing from Abiru. It was yeah, okay. And then looking in the mirror and seeing her, kind of shutting that one eye and seeing Kafka there, kind of seeing Kafka in everybody, that's all clicking into place very nicely now. The general idea of the cells replacing and the ship of Theseus of it all, and us really kind of talking about that substitution point. And I mean, Kafka's been kind of weird the entire time. She's, been in places that she shouldn't be and kind of popping in and out. It's almost like she wasn't there, almost like she was an illusion the entire time too. That's making sense too. Now, obviously, again, one got her cornea, one got part of the eye. Makes sense that it's Abiru, we never see that eye. One got her heart, which is Chirikitsu. Can't say I've really noted much about Chiri's heart ever. One got her lungs. Did Komori have breathing issues? I don't remember that. Was that a thing? I mean, I would like these to line up a little bit better, I guess. I don't know, maybe she got her hair because Chiri's hair is very straight or something. I don't know. Again, if you're going to do this part in the story, this twist, I guess, I'd make it attach into the characters a little more strongly than it has, but sure. A lot of the imagery in the openings is making sense now. A lot of anatomy in general, and this is now making sense because everybody has a piece of Kafka's anatomy. An Akagi? What the hell? Okay, so she entrusted those girls with all the life she had to give because she was an organ donor. Okay, fair enough. You could say she's a reverse Pinocchio. What the hell's a Pinocchio? People might call me a demon, but she, without a doubt, is an angel. To the students to whom she handed over her life, she is something like a mother. But if this was just a delusion, there are way too many things here that can't be explained. You certainly are hard-headed, detective. There are people who actually made physical contact with her, and we still have her writings and drawings. In a sense, she did have a material existence. This is Fura Kafka when she consulted me the first time. This is Fura Kafka when she showed up on another day. What does this mean? It means the recipients probably took turns playing the part of Fura Kafka. No, it might be better to say she manifested in them. And when she appeared in another recipient, they acknowledged that person as Fura Kafka. It's the opposite of a single person hosting multiple personalities. Instead, it's multiple people hosting a singular personality. Once again, I'd love to reread some chapters, and maybe I will in my own time here, because this tells me, if we're running by the same logic that I think we're running, that in every single skit there was somebody missing. Somebody wouldn't have been there, and that would have been the person that's encompassing Kafka in that skit. And just thinking off the top of my head, that tracks. There isn't many skits that involve everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean everybody. So, that is that what we're talking about? Maybe. Because again, okay, Kafka did have a physical presence. People did claim to have touched her and whatnot. That's kind of what this is saying. who actually made physical contact with her. And again, she looked like Tsunetsuki on one day. She looked like Chiri on another day, or whoever this is. I'm guessing it's Chiri. Yeah, she had a physical presence, and she looked like some characters at certain points. Sure. Here's an example, I guess, right? In this time, Meru is having the, I guess, delusion that Abiru is Kafka. Sure. And again, they all share some part of her body, so that kind of makes sense, I guess. A shared personality, maybe you would call it PN sharing. That's why, back then, I think it looked something like this to her. This was when Abiru took off the eye patch and she saw everybody as Kafka. This was like a glitch in the Matrix or whatever. This is kind of what she'd been seeing the entire time, but her brain realized everything all at once. Oh, is that the Anakagi? Is that an alias? Okay, where did that alias come from? That PN pen name. PN sharing, pen name. Okay, we're doing something funny there too. A recipient can't find out the name of the donor. They aren't told anything more specific than a teenage girl from the Kanto area. The information was just too cold and impersonal. I wanted to somehow convey some fragment of who she was, so I took the pen name from a book she said she liked. Is that the Kafka pen name, or is that the Anakagi pen name? No, it's the Kafka pen name. Yeah, okay. Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, which is something I referenced in the very first episode of the reaction, which is funny. And again, just reiterating here, I'm not sure who's here in this video that doesn't know this, but Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis is about a man that suddenly wakes up as a beetle and goes through many challenges based on that, based on a pretty realistic take on what somebody would actually do if they woke up in such a way. And we're kind of flipping that here. As she awoke one morning, Fura Kafka had become Kobushi Abiru, and then become Kitsuchiri, and then become all the characters, right? Yeah, that's like the start of the book, The Metamorphosis. That makes sense to me. She found herself transformed. Goodbye, Fura Kafka is the name of that chapter there. We're taking it all the way back to the first episode, the first chapter, the first encounter with Sensei here. Probably going to flip some things on their heads as we see it. As the Despair Sensei is attempting to kill himself at the front of the school, on the first day of school, on the first day of the new semester, out by the cherry blossom trees. Okay, we're getting there a little bit more now. I was a little bit up in the air after the end of the last chapter. I was like, yeah, but to what end? Now this is a bit more to what end. This is a little bit more explaining the general questions that I had. Like, yeah, why is she called Kafka? Why is she fucking weird and different than everybody else? Why does she show up at a really random spot in every chapter and kind of bring out the hopeful part of everything else? Again, Kafka is like that angel. She's like that hope. It's only natural that one character in this kind of place where we just kind of perpetuate the despair would come out with these kind of positive kind of intonations towards the end, right? It's only natural, right? It's kind of her role, you know, as that savior as well, as that mother to everybody. It's pretty deep. I like this quite a bit. I'm getting there with this now. 2 chapters to go now. Final chapter, Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei. But it said I had 2 to go. It said I had a 302 as well. That's intriguing. Anyway, okay, so this was like a time skip ahead, it seems like. I'm a little bit more solid on that now. We kind of got that way back early in the story, which is funny. Good morning. I'm your new homeroom teacher, Itoshiki Nozomu. And the kanji? Primary school students do not need to bother learning kanji. You should use hiragana to your heart's content. As a grown-up, you will have to use kanji even if you don't want to. If you use hiragana in an unnatural way as an adult, society will treat you like a nerd. I'm imagining a lot of these are, yeah. I know that top one. I know that next one too, for the record. I know most of these. Jesus. Basically just calling out the otaku. I like that. That's pretty... That's pretty good. Okay. Of course, we're avoiding using kanji here because that would involve the whole Despair Sensei debacle that we had very early in the show as well. And also, again, the flip on that with the kind of hope, kind of flip on Itoshiki Nozomu as well. Anyway, but we're in a higher grade already. I get it. I will write your name in hiragana, Sensei. Here. How did you know that? So she went straight for the bit regardless. That's very funny. Well, aside from the right to use hiragana, you're not making the most of being in primary school, running away while hiding in your house, asking what's that in vending machine for when you already know. What is this vending machine? Okay, sure. Going to a Precure show without telling them you'd be there. What the fuck? Getting arrested or hospitalized if you do these things as an adult has left me in despair. Yeah, I mean, reading through these, if you did date an elementary school student as an adult, you should probably get in a little bit of trouble. Arrested or hospitalized. Oh, drawing a watch on your wrist. That's some ball knowledge. I like that. Okay, back to Red now. What? You've come here too? In my case, it's more like coming home. Ooh! Kudo. Yo. Oh, you're from this island. I was cared for here for a short time. Cared for? I was treated as though I had died. It's because I had a blood transfusion. I was born into a family whose religion forbids both suicide and blood transfusions, but this island is very harmonious and tolerant. There's both a Christian shrine and a Maria Canon, for example. Sure, I'm guessing different religious shrines. The Christians here had secretly used Buddhist and Shinto teachings as camouflage for their own beliefs. Over time, those beliefs merged to form a unique religion that became traditional. Despite the fact they don't need to keep their religion secret anymore, they haven't returned to the original teachings. I was allowed to come live here. Also, yeah, I'm missing the forest for the trees, of course. He's dressed up like a priest? I completely missed that. I thought he had some drip on or something. Okay. Thought he had the bling. That's bad from me. I'm sorry. Okay. Now that's making a lot more sense why they started talking about religion. Okay, Kudo's a priest. Okay, sure. Either way, back here. By the way, what were Rin and Kei doing? They did their jobs properly. These are fine offerings of flowers and pitchers. Along with Tei-sama's vegetarian cooking, everything will be perfect. We're not undertakers. Just as an aside, Kafka-san was a carrier of serotonin transporter type LL, the so-called positive gene. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, we're going even crazier. What is this in front of me too? It's just a big offering for everybody, I'm guessing. Sure. To let them all pass, graduation and whatnot, that whole theming. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, it's the blackboard. I'm dumb. Okay, it's all coming together now. Anyway, the so-called positive gene, of course, serotonin transporter type LL. The fact that the girls who chose to die changed their minds after receiving transplants may be related to this fact. Okay, we're going to talk about this, but by the way, who are those other guys? These are the guys. Yo, remember these guys? They only got introduced like for 1 second, and now they're back. That's very funny. Okay, these are like the otaku, like nerd guys. Yeah, we're the target subplot repo guy. Great joke. Fantastic joke. Anyway, this is more to the, I get a body part replaced and then I start, changing my mind. My favorite food could become my least favorite food. In this case, my least favorite food became my favorite food. That food being life. I gained a lust for it after getting some Kafka juice, I guess. That's rather lackluster. Don't call us lackluster. And anyway, being a target isn't the point here, since we've assembled to be backups in case anything happens to Sensei. I remember reading this chapter. Come on now, I'm with it. You guys were too, right? Of course. This must have been our father's suggestion. Just how much of a Richie Rich is my brother to have so many backups? Oni-sama, you're uncool to the very end. Okay, so just in case Sensei couldn't do the final little bit, we made sure we brought all the backup senseis from, again, the comedic chapter where we had backup senseis. Or chapters, I should say. There was actually a couple there. Well, even if we're assembled for that reason, in the end, we were still real classmates. And Sensei, you were a real teacher to us. And then a scene transition. Sure, a little wholesome here, that's nice. Sure. Yeah, you're Kaide, aren't you? When did you come back to this island? No, Hey, wait! I'm telling you I'm not! Could this island possibly be the island that Kaede-chan was a returnee from? Well, it is technically overseas. Okay, now that's making a little bit of sense. That's more just a fun bit of fan service, though. It's good, though. Just because it's like, well, she's not from America. She's not from, like, Europe or the UK or any other... Where the hell is she from? She's from this random place that we're at now, which again explains a lot of things, why her English is broken and why she couldn't speak with those other kind of foreigners, and yeah, this is all making sense. Either way, there's a commotion over here. I can't rest in peace. What? There is no way I can rest in peace, says Chirikitsu. What are you doing? I thought you weren't even here. To make the contest perfectly fair, I brought one for everybody. Eventually the girls will forget about Kafka-san altogether. Her actions will become their actions. They'll completely forget. Oh, okay, no, this is Chie. Gotcha. Okay, never mind. I thought that this was continuing from here. Now there's a cut here, of course. So this is back with Chie, of course. Okay, cool. Eventually the girls will forget about Kafka-san altogether. Her actions will become their actions. They'll completely forget. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Kafka-san will vanish. She'll fuse with them and be assimilated, a sort of reincarnation for her. Ah, I see. I want to wear one too. There's exactly one for everyone. Are you sure? There's one too many. That's for Kafu... Who is that again? Okay, so they're like kind of forgetting about her or something? That's weird. So they're kind of forgetting about Kafka, but that doesn't mean that she will vanish. She'll fuse with them and be assimilated, a sort of reincarnation for her. Okay, we're holding out hope because I've read ahead a little bit. Well then, everyone, please take care on the way home. Sensei, are you getting married? Aha, I'd need a fiancé for that. Aren't there a lot of them over there? Eh? Everybody's in their wedding dresses. Very, very cool. So this is what we're doing over here, where it's like, this is no way I can rest in peace. To make the contest perfectly fair, I brought one for everybody. So we've all got, you know, all the same stuff on, all the same wedding dresses. We're all going to stand here and we're all going to see if we can be Sensei's bride, which is a really weird kind of payoff to the kind of harem thing that we've had going on in the show, kind of, the student-teacher harem. Anyway, what's with the dresses? I don't think I could find peace with just a posthumous graduation. You need to give me a posthumous wedding, too. This is very cheery to put this all together, too. It's very in line with her character. I'd imagine this is a 2-page spread as well, which is quite adorable. It's my favorite Nami, of course. I absolutely cannot rest in peace, even though my posthumous name was so sparkly. But I didn't give you that. Sensei, please, marry me. Marry me posthumously. That's not my line of work. Atami would be a good place for a posthumous honeymoon. And he runs away. How rude, I was first. Oh, he ran away. Let's chase him down in our wedding dresses, of course. And of course they start running away. Sensei, wait, have a posthumous wedding with me. And then they're being chased by a bunch of would-be bachelors on the island. Be my wife. No, she's mine. Eek! You're so chubby, you're totally my type. Don't shit on Nami like that. Come on now. Ha ha ha, you're getting what you deserve. That's what happens when young women show up on an island with a lack of brides. What the hell are you talking about, man? Anyway, we got a bit of a music thing here playing. Oh, this is is this the music from that one episode? That kind of song that played when kind of school was over? The kids go home early in elementary school. Yeah, so they play that song. It's from that one segment in that one episode. Is it that song from my memory? Potentially. Anyway, there's only a few contenders left now. Still time for a little Kairi panty shot there too. The soup of a wife wearing a cat fur. Yeah, okay. It's the weird lyrics. Yeah. Huh. What's with those weird lyrics? Tromore doesn't have words. Doesn't even have words. Yeah, why do we know the words to this song? Why do we all kind of have this kind of groupthink around there being lyrics to the song that never had lyrics? Ridiculous lyrics at that. That's something that Kafka did. In the residential area, where there are no old women anymore, I get meat. Just why do we know these words? It might be a little cliched, but Fura Kafka continues to live on inside these girls as an organic entity. Hey, he's getting away! Someone run on ahead! Sensei continues to run here. The bridal dress your container is wearing for a moment, a hidden confession, a spell of love lost in the Oratio? Yeah, sure. A flicker of hope is the memory of your true self's name. Seems that Sensei has run into the chapel and is meeting up with somebody. Oh my god. Which Kafka are you? I'm all of them. The end. There we go. Hello there, Kafka. Yeah, I mean, I could see this probably coming from a while out. Sure. As soon as we got to about here, I'm like, okay, where's Kafka though? Where's like? It's also the first time we've probably seen her, like at least tonight when I'm doing this in these kind of 5 chapters. So, you know, it's nice to see her again. Hello, Kafka. She's the embodiment of hope. Yeah, just kind of coming back around to that first chapter of like the manga. It's pretty significant now, right? Also, yeah, she's moving the kind of crucifix from kind of her hairpin to a crucifix, which I feel like is quite pointed, talking to all the Christianity imagery we were talking about before, the symbolism, the religion on the island, that kind of stuff. That's all coming together quite well. But yeah, just it's literally Sensei, like he's about to commit suicide, and then like Kafka's like, no, don't do that. And this is also the yin and the yang that is also inside each and every one of the girls in the show that we meet, right? They have the pessimistic and the positive side, right? So again, the kind of the opening chapter is kind of the thesis statement of this entire concept that is now being revealed now, which I feel like is some pretty good pre-planning stuff. Now I'm confused. There is one more chapter. I will be reading it now. I have no idea the context. I have no idea a name, but let's just try to follow along here. Traffic light. We have Sensei passing Kafka. Kafka loses her hat. Sensei picks it up before she also loses her shoe and bag. Oh, did she get hit by a car or something? Yeah, she must have. Okay, so yeah, it was like we're on a crosswalk. She turned around after Sensei picked up the hat, and then she got hit with a car. I feel uneasy. Nozomu still thinks it's his fault she died, but he's not responsible. But based on his personality, he's going to take responsibility. It's quite conceivable he'll exchange vows. Marriage between a living and a dead person is not allowed. Well, I guess they're both alive in some sense. Okay, so this is where Kafka came from, and this is Sensei's connection to Kafka, and that's why... Okay, this is now super clicking into place. As one possibility, this is chapter 30x, which is 300x, which means this could be any number of chapters after 301. Ring ring. Yes, Streaming Souls Truth Extra here. It was about a month ago that I heard the rumors surrounding that island. They said a single man had built a harem and was living together with multiple women in a strange way. It seemed very interesting for a third-rate magazine. So now we have reporter Riku Ruko on the case. I see, so you've come all the way from Tokyo. Who are you? I'm the younger sister. Sometimes I just come here to see if my brother's doing well. I would like to talk to the master of the house. Well, I'll have to ask him. Oh, what a surprise. A guest. She came all the way from Tokyo. Good day. You see, I would like to talk to you. Is that all right? Yes, sure. Are you sure you're okay with it? There are many people spreading strange rumors, but I have nothing to be ashamed of. Ah, perfect timing. Let me introduce you. This is my wife. Hello, wife. This is your only wife? I don't understand what you mean by that. Excuse me, but according to the rumor, you're engaging in polygamy and have assembled a harem, etc. Polygamy? But I only have one wife. But then we look around the mansion some more. However, in that mansion, I could actually confirm the shadows of several women. So that means he has one wife and the others are his lovers? Well, that's probably how it works illegally. Is this the news desk? It doesn't seem like anything especially interesting. I'm heading back to Tokyo. However, the husband's "I only have one wife" bugged me, and I came to the island once more. Do you mind if I talk to you again? Oh, the reporter from last time. A guest? I think you've already been introduced, but this is my wife, who's a different person to this wife over here, which this one looks like Abiru, I guess, if I had to pick one of the characters. I don't know, it kind of looks like all of them, if I'm honest. Where this one is pretty clearly Tsunetsuki. Did you divorce your previous wife, so this is your second wife? A second wife? I have always been married to the same woman, though. But every time I met him after that, too. This is my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife. His wife's Kafka. I know the bit, guys, and everybody has a little bit of Kafka in them, so he technically can legally call it a harem. Very cool. I don't know. Again, it's kind of like, what's the word? They're like cheating their way into having a harem with a bunch of high schoolers. But it's clever and like smart and stuff, so I'm giving them a pass. It's basically the biggest, most elaborate setup to get to that end goal possible. But because it was properly set up, it absolutely works. It's very clever. It's very sneaky. The woman he called his wife changed every time. So it really is. From a stranger's perspective, it looks like bigamy, I suppose. However, my brother is not lying. He exchanged his vows with one single woman. No, but to be able to love this woman, he needs to love all the women here. They are all one. Originally, the woman my brother loved was one person, but she died in an accident. Her organs have been split up between these women here. At one time, he loves her eyes. At another, he loves her heart. And yet another, he loves her vocal cords. Another time, he loves her blood. He chases her shadow as it appears in various people as a result of transplantation-induced memory transfer. And on paper, a cycle of divorce and marriage is repeated, but to my brother, that's true love. Now that's very clever. That's some of the kind of yin and yang, opposite day type stuff that the show had going on as well. Where again, in my greatest show of love, I'm divorcing women over and over again. You know, it's both despair and hope kind of in one. It's pretty clever. It's nice. And this reporter is clearly just freaked out a little bit. If you'll excuse me, weren't you going to be staying here overnight? Before dashing away. That kind of thing. And then, today's weather bad, ship's cancelled. She's trapped here regardless. Excuse me, I booked this, so please make it go. Impossible with this wind. Do you want me to die or what? Wait, I'm borrowing this. Captain, you're going on a boat? So you're a captain. That's dangerous, Nozomi. Come here. What the fuck is happening? Okay, so my kind of whole shtick that I have going on with all the students, right? That's causing this person to want to escape the island as quickly as possible because she's freaked out. And now, Captain, you're on a boat, so you're a captain. That's dangerous, Nozomi. Come here. Nozomi would be like Nozomu's kid, right? Who is this little Kafka-looking number, which is only one of many children which he has had with all of his various wives. This is the most wholesome, like, harem I've ever seen. Like, scary harem. Like, he's essentially on this island with all these fucking people, and he's having kids with them and stuff, but it's full of, like, hope and joy. It brings me nothing but good feelings. That's not how this is supposed to go. This is kind of like scary if you like divorce it from all its context. Yeah, so then we have Nozomu over here. Don't we already have a Nozomu? Yeah. And a kid called Hope. This is what I saw in the place called Entrails Island. Entrails, like organs that have been kind of given out to these various... Okay, sure. What an odd thing to say. Anyway, it's very much like, I guess, Kafka to be doing stuff like this. So it's kind of like a cool, like, reincarnation Kafka thing. Sure. That's like very much a her line. There's a bunch of little kind of Kafkas everywhere. That's great. Either way, the boat continues to go. I thought that she was about to hop off the boat, but no. It keeps going. The waves crash. Yeah. The captain of Entrails Island, covered in blood. We get her back again, and we inject her with a blood transfusion from everybody. Do you maybe want our blood? Let us share. Aren't you looking forward to the wedding tomorrow? We're gonna add her to the fucking harem? What the hell? This shit's busted. Okay, what is this? Closing words. My name is Atoshiki Nozomu. I have no special talents, and I am a simple man of no merit. I have no pathos either, and my profession is merely to let my students graduate. People generally speak of me as a man with no pride, but my kneeling down is a prayer. It is an earnest wish, because I have actually seen the halo of Mario once. Afterward, my name is Akagi-an, or rather it was, One day I was suddenly drawn from the depths of darkness into a world of light by many friends. The sports festival was fun, the class trip was fun, the school festival was fun. It was all fun. I was happy. There's a Kagi-an coming through there too. Okay, that's the very last thing that we see. Kind of some words from both Sensei and from Kafka, or a Kagi-an. Sure. Yeah, fine. Good. What a ridiculous ending. This is craziness. I can't say it wasn't set up, though. Especially, again, those kind of chapters that kind of set it up as well. The foreshadowing there within is pretty good. My only regret is not reading the entire thing, so I couldn't kind of fully experience the reveals there and whatnot. I have to say, kind of along the journey here, I was like, is this worth it? Should I have gone and actually read the manga ending here? Am I ultimately getting that much out of it? Upon finishing here, yeah, I did. Okay, it was worth it. It was absolutely worth my time. 2 thumbs up. It's good stuff. I just lament the way that I did it a little bit. I believe that, again, it was probably just me reading it in my own time would have probably been better, and then me maybe making a summary video about it or something. I don't know if the reaction format worked very well for it, is my 2 cents. But either way, we're leaving it there. That's also putting a bow on Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei as a whole. To which, yeah, it's good. It frustrated me a little bit. I think you could see that sometimes. Just again, I'm not very Japanese. I didn't get it all the time, but that's okay. I tried my best. It's quite funny. It has some good bits. It comes together to be a pretty satisfying ending by the very end. Obviously, I have my favorites in the characters department there too. But yeah, overall, 2 thumbs. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And of course, shoutouts to Shaft. I did a lot of the anime wrap-up stuff already a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, Shaft is fulfilling their end of the bargain there too. They shafted all over it and made it a Shaft thing too, which is something like they do. Yeah, it was good. It was a good production there, of course. Moving onwards now. We're not going to be doing anything like Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei again on this slot on the channel. To balance out against Mushi-Shi and Takopi, the shows that are going to be on this poll are going to be pretty light. They're going to be light. I'm still umming and ahhing a little bit. They're going to be light, or it's going to be like a hype poll. Like there's going to be like a bunch of shows that are mainly about getting hype. Something akin to like a Symphogear or something, right? Where, again, Symphogear had a story, but it was more about the big moments and the pop-offs and whatnot and the cliffhangers and everything there. So again, if I could get something in that realm for next week, that would be my goal. I might go poll the Discord now and just see what they're thinking about that idea. Either way, once again, putting a bow on Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei. I really like the ending. I think the ending's bonkers, which is, yeah, and obviously very well set up. A lot of foreshadowing there within. And yeah, I look forward to a rewatch at some point where I'm just going to be like, oh, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. It just kind of all clicks into place there. But either way, I'm rambling now. I guess we'll leave it here, and we'll end the series with again, 2 big thumbs up. It's crazy. And yeah, I guess goodbye for now. Channel's still on, obviously. There'll be new shows. Keep an eye on it if you're interested and whatnot. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. See you later. Goodbye.